Hey everyone, I'm Evangeline right here at eTrailer. Since every bike rack fits every car differently, we're focusing in today on how the CURT 2 bike rack fits on the 2023 Nissan Rogue. Now you might be interested in the CURT bike rack because it's an affordable rack that also tilts away. Not a common feature for your entry-level racks. And this is definitely going to be your more minimal designed rack where you don't get much features beyond that. So you still have a pretty decent weight capacity for your mountain bikes and for your road bikes. But if you're planning on carrying extra heavy electric bikes, double check those numbers. And with the tilting away function, it is held in place by your 2 pins. So to tilt away, you first have to pull this clip, and then you can pull out this pin. And then you have a secondary clip and pin right over there. And I'm supporting the bike rack with my knee right now. This is best done with 2 people if you have 2 bikes loaded up. So with those 2 pins down, this rack will then tilt down, and it has a pretty decent tilt so that you can open up your hatch and get into your cargo area. So if you have waters or backpacks over here, or you're the type of person that likes to switch out your shoes before and after your bike ride, this is going to be a way you can do so without having to take your bikes off. Yes, this is a little bit of a process. So for your heavier bikes, I definitely recommend just being mindful as you try to do this step. Now this will take a little bit of time. If you are at the parking lot of the trailhead, or you're at the gas station, wherever you might be, just devote some time to getting those pins in right and making sure everything is lined up. Now, while we're over here, let's talk about how the bike is secured to the bike rack, and I'll finish the pins later. So here we have the bike rack. We have our front and our rear wheel hoop. These hoops are adjustable, where you just have a wing nut and you can move this back and forth along the tray. What's securing the bike in place is going to be this frame mount. The frame mount is lockable, so that way you don't have to deal with separate cable locks. You just lock it, or in our case, unlock it, and then press the button, and now you can get your bike. So getting over here, I'm just going to grab the bike, pivot around our vehicle, making sure it doesn't touch, and now we are good to go. So if you are looking for a frame mounted rack and you're tired of dealing with cables, that is a nice function here. I do wish I could completely remove those handles, or I guess those frame mounts, but that's going to be how it works. Quick measurements: if you measured from the bumper to the end of the rack, you'll have it at 26 inches. That's going to be how much space this will take up behind your vehicle. And if you were to fold up, you are going to have to move the mast down, but that will make it where you have less storage space that you're going to have to be worried about. Ground clearance, measuring from the bike rack to the ground, is around 20 inches, so plenty of ground clearance there. If you have potholes or speed bumps, things like that, I'm not worried about bottoming out. At this point, that's going to be more of how much height you're going to have to lift your bikes up to get onto the rack. This mast over here folds down forward if you needed to get it to be more compact. So this is yet another pin and a clip. We're going to bring it over here and then secure it with the pin and clip we just removed. So that's really going to be the trend with this rack. Lots of pins and clips that you're going to have to figure out. Now I left this other side open so that I can just very quickly remove that, and then fold this up against the vehicle, and then I'll put just one back in place so that we don't take up too much time. But this is what it's going to look like with it folded up against your car. You won't be able to open up the hatch. You are going to have to be mindful about the location of your hook, but it does clear with the vehicle. I do recommend having it in the upright position as much as possible so that you aren't up against your windshield wipers. But this is what it's going to look like, full visibility of your license plate and mostly full visibility through your rear shield window. So if you're looking for an affordable and lightweight bike rack that also tilts, you don't have that many options in the entry-level price range. One of my favorite compact racks is definitely the Hollywood Racks Destination 2. That's going to be lighter and easier to load up compared to this one, but that one does not have a tilting feature. If you're okay with spending a little bit more, you may want to consider the bent-in shifts and grins. That has a button you press and then the whole rack tilts away versus having to deal with pins and clips and lining things up. So different bike racks fit different vehicles differently. Hopefully this video just helped you see how this would work, how you might use it with your own bikes, and how this might work for your adventures. This was a look at the CURT 2 platform bike rack on the 2023 Nissan Rogue.